Thomas gets bumped. Every afternoon, Thomas the Tank Engine puffs happily along his branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. First, they pass the windmill. Next, they pass Elizabeth waiting at her level crossing. Then, they come to a small station outside of the village. This is a special place to Thomas. Whenever children hear Thomas coming along, they got a Bertie the bus waving until he is out of sight. One day, Thomas is running late. He has stopped at a red light to talk to some new children. Percy the Green Engine was waiting too. "Hurry up, Thomas," called Percy when the signal dropped. "If you're late, Sir Tom Pat might get a new engine to replace you."
He will never do that,
thought Thomas, but he was worried. Next day, Thomas hurried along the line. Just ahead was the small station. There, on the platform, was an inspector waving a red flag. Next, Thomas saw some children. They looked very worried.
Something must be wrong,
thought Thomas. "Help, Thomas, help! We're glad to see you," called the children. "Please, would you take us home?" The station master explained to Thomas's driver that Bertie had broken down and all the parents would be worried that the children were late. Thomas waited as the children climbed into Annie and Clarabelle. Then he took the children to the next station. By the time Thomas finished his journey, he was very late. He was worried that Sir Topham Hatt might be cross with him. "I warned Thomas," puffed Percy to James. "He's been late one time too many. He'll be in trouble now." But next morning, when Thomas picked up his passengers, Sir Topham Hatt was nowhere to be seen.
Thank goodness,
sighed Thomas. Thomas knows every part of his branch line. Just ahead was a stretch where the hot sun had bent the rails on the tracks. "Careful, Thomas," called his driver, but it was too late. "That's done it," said his driver. "We shan't get any further today."
But what about my passengers?
asked Thomas. "Don't worry, they'll be looked after," replied his driver. While working to repair the line, Thomas had shunt trucks in the yard. Bertie came to see him.
"I understand you need my help again,"
Yes, Bertie.
replied Thomas sadly.
I can't run without my rails.
Bertie set off to collect Thomas's passengers. "Hello, Bertie," they said. "We're glad you're here." Bertie drove along the road that runs by the railway. He stopped at each station along the line. Sometimes he stops between stations to let people off close to their homes. Thomas felt miserable.
I've lost my passengers to Bertie. They'll like him better than me.
A few days later, Sir Topham Hatt came to see Thomas. "Your branch line is repaired. I'm going to change your timetables so that you and Bertie can work together more." When Thomas reached the station, there, to his relief, were all of his passengers. "Bertie is a very good bus, but we miss our train rides with you," they said. Later, Thomas spoke to Bertie.
Thank you for looking after my passengers.
"That's all right, Thomas. I like to make new friends, but I'm glad to share them with you."
Bertie, you're a very good friend indeed.